my name is Moïra Fowley-Doyle and I'm the author of The Accident Season, Spellbook of the Lost and Found, and All the Bad Apples, which has been shortlisted for the CBI Awards. My books are all young adult fiction, mostly queer magic realism set in the west of Ireland, which is where I am now. And because I am on lockdown in my parents' house in Mayo, I don't have a physical copy of All the Bad Apples, so I'm going to read out a short extract from one of the copy edited drafts on my tablet. So All the Bad Apples is the story of 17-year-old Dina Rice, whose older sister Mandy goes missing and is presumed dead. But the day after the funeral, Dina receives a letter from Mandy, and in this letter Mandy talks about a curse that she believes has been put on the girls of the Rice family. She says that at 17, any girl who is branded a bad apple, who is considered a bad apple by their conservative and intolerant family, they are cast off the family tree and terrible things come to them. And they'll know that this curse has come to them when they hear the scream of the first of 3 banshees who come as a warning. Mandy tells Dina in this letter that she must retrace the roots of her family tree in order to break the curse before it comes to her, which Mandy believes it will. She believes it will come to Dina because unfortunately on her 17th birthday, Dina accidentally comes out to her father. So I'm going to read a short extract, and this takes place before Mandy disappears, but after Dina has come out to her father. And Mandy has already talked to her about this curse, but not in great detail. Above me, Our Lady, Star of the Sea, watched the ferry slide slowly out of sight. When I turned back around, ahead of me in the water there was a woman. Not a swimmer, not somebody who jumped into the bay on a dare, an old woman, so pale her skin seemed grey, submerged past her mouth, her long silver hair tangling through the foam of the small waves around her. A woman with a ravaged, skeletal face, cheeks sunken, eyes set deep in wrinkles, their irises as grey as her hair. She wasn't treading water. She wasn't moving at all. She was staring right at me, unblinking. A long grey hand came out of the water. Its twisted fingers beckoned. I couldn't explain what happened next, only that I must have started so hard I slipped off the rocks at the base of the statue and into the water. There was nobody close enough to push me. The woman was too far from me to have pulled. A split second and I went under. Not even enough time to feel real fear. Water whooshed around me, filled my ears with roaring and my mouth with salt. I kicked wildly towards the surface. When I came up, the woman's face was a hair's breadth from mine. She opened her mouth and screamed. Part of what I love about magic realism is that slipperiness of reality that it gives. So maybe there are banshees who herald Dina's family curse, and maybe she did see one out in the sea in Dublin Bay, and maybe the banshee did magically pull her into the water. Or maybe it was just her imagination and she just tripped or she fell in. But magic realism is my favourite genre, and it originated in Latin America with authors like Gabriel Garcia Marquez and Isabel Allende, and their books are stunningly beautiful. They're set in the real world in which strange and extraordinary things happen alongside the ordinary and the everyday. And I like to think of magic realism as that's just how things are here sometimes. So frozen lake in the middle of summer, that's just how things are here sometimes. Girls disappearing into the woods, that's just the way things are here sometimes. 3 banshees heralding a family curse, it's just the way things are here sometimes. It's never really clear, and you're never really told how or why the magic works within the real world, or even if it exists at all. Or maybe it can be explained away as a coincidence, or as the character's imagination, or as mental illness, or maybe it's a metaphor. And a lot of the time, the magic works as a story within a story. And a lot of the time that magic speaks to truths that don't exist in the real world. So if you're interested in writing magic realism, I try to keep to these 3 guidelines. And one of them is have your story be set in the real world. The second is to add an element of magic. And the third is to have the people and the characters in the world of the story mostly accept this magic. So I wove elements of Irish folklore into this very real world story of a teenage girl who is grieving her missing sister. And the magic works to tell truths about their family and tell truths about Dina herself. And maybe the magic is real, and maybe the magic is metaphor, and maybe reality is actually not as real as it might seem, because magic and reality kind of blend in magic realism, and that's part of what I really love about it.